G'day there, Aussie Stern here, country Victorian gamer of Star Wars Armada, Star Wars Legion, X-Wing, Dystopian Wars, Flames of War, Battletech, many other games. To start off with, this is a update of what I've happened to do in September of 2023. Apologies that I haven't been putting up too much videos lately, as unfortunately school holidays has occurred, and quite a lot of the time when I wanted to do videos, the way that I've been doing them via my iPad, my son has been grabbing a hold of to watch his cartoons, TV, play games, etc., making it rather difficult for me to do too much at all in terms of showing the progress of what I've been doing. That said, yeah, I have managed to get a few models painted. Not as many as I would like, but certainly more than just one. I have managed to paint a majority of my friends' Prussians for Dystopian Wars, which I will show shortly. These are the models that came in the Tempelhof set that are basically exactly the same cruiser frigate sprue that came in the Stygian Sky, which is why I wasn't going to show them anyway as a step-by-step process because you've already seen it. I've also done some basic painting on the Tempelhof aircraft carrier, as well as the Elector Battlefleet set for the likes of the cruisers and the actual battleship itself. And I'll show you them as well. Then lastly, what I've been also working on is some 6mm GHQ models. Now, these are basically modern or Cold War era more so, tanks, vehicles, etc. that I originally had on round bases that I'm now slowly in the process of converting to a more rectangular bases to use in a modified version of Team Yankee by Battlefront. The reason why it's a modified version is because the normal game of Battlefront is around about the 15mm mark. But for Team Yankee, the scale of it is it's almost too large in some ways, because you have things like helicopters, jets, that you wouldn't generally have on such a small scale on a 6x4 table. So a friend of mine came up with the idea of, how about we shrink the miniatures and instead go from 50mm down to a 6mm format. This led to a couple of play tests that a couple of friends have done, and it seems to work out well. I already had a number of GHQ models for another process that I was working on that used round bases, but they were for Canadians. So great. I looked up the Battlefront website, saw that Free Nations had Canadians, got the book, checked out, found that, yeah, I've pretty much got a good mechanized force or armored company, and just needed to make a few more purchases from GHQ. I've already done those purchases, and it's somewhere traveling to me at the moment. This includes things like the M109 artillery, the M125 mortar carrier, the M1A3 Abrams that I can get as a support unit, some I think Cobra attack helicopter, as well as some decals. So I'll show you them shortly. So let's start off with the Imperium. So first up, these are my completed Imperium Prussians for my friend. I've completed a squadron of Siegern destroyers out the back, as well as a Volsen cruiser and a Rita flak cruiser. I've also done a number of turrets of the gun battery, as also half of the rocket batteries for the other battleship and cruisers. Next to it is my work in progress area. These ones, as you can see, just move it back a little bit. I've already completed painting or undercoating them. And I'm keeping them all separate as well, just like what I've done with the cruiser, to allow me access to some of the individual areas. So the battleship's bridge can also come out. The colours that I used are primarily the grey is a standard grey uniform, and then over the top of it you'll see, if I bring this one in nice and close, then it's a layer of Games Workshop Mechanicus standard grey to give it that slightly darker look. On top of that, then it'll be some white on the emblems and the front of it, which will then get the yellow treatment, and the various other parts will have bolt gun metal for the turrets, the miniature turrets that are on the side here. I've completed one of these guns for either the cruiser or the battleship. And I'll do the same. I've got all the generators to do and bridge, etc. With the aircraft carrier, I've gone with the scorched brown decking, and we'll use that as generally any type of decking that I come across. Once it's fully painted, I expect that I'll use a little bit of null wash to really pop out those planking ideas as well. The last ones that I'm working on, which are more of the frigates, I'm going to magnetize the guns so I can swap between the flak version of the frigate to the gun version of the frigate, to give my friend a bit of options of what he wants to do. But that is pretty much it for my Prussians at this point in time. So basically, there is a huge lot to do, but I'm getting there. So these are 6mm metal tanks of various descriptions for my modified version of Team Yankee. More specifically, these are Canadians. What they have is Leopard 1C versions. I believe that's 1A3. which have some parts actually produced in Belgium rather than in Germany, and switched out one of the pintle mounted machine gun, I believe. I've also got some M113 blowpipes for an anti-tank role. Some normal M113 armoured personnel carriers. These are for both infantry as well as observation posts. And as you can see, I've pretty much heavily flocked the bases. I've also magnetized the rear of all of these to make it easier for me to transport. As you can see, they've got like little Canadian, like little flags on them. I've also got to put some maple leaves on them somewhere. I've got some decals to do that, which will make it a lot easier going forward. So they're all completed and pretty much ready to go. I still have artillery, etc. Yeah. So finally, what am I doing other than the Prussians for this month? Well, I do have Lando for Star Wars Legion to assemble and paint. I have quite a large amount of infantry that I'm going to have to paint up and assemble. Most of my infantry that I have at the moment for the Team Yankee version are on this round base, which I'm going to have to very carefully pry loose to reorganize them into rectangular shapes as well as into squads of 5. As you can see, the base actually holds around about 9. Some of them even hold 10 models on a base, which isn't quite right for the Flames of War or Team Yankee type look. Beyond that, I've got some more Battletech coming in the next couple of weeks. I've got the core book of Battletech Armored, a game of armored combat to do. So they'll give me something like 12 mechs to paint up, as well as an individual Orion that I have managed to procure separately. All in all, it's going to be a pretty busy month for me. I've got in personal life, I've got a birthday party for my son coming up on the weekend, so I probably won't be doing any posts this weekend. However, I do plan on trying to get some more stuff beyond that. This week in Australia, it also happens to be PAX, so a lot of my friends are going down there potentially to pick up some more models of their own. I've already sent a list down as to the types of things that I'm looking for, and they will let me know if they come across anything. But beyond that, it's going to be some gaming in the next couple of weekends. Trying to stay ahead of all of this painting, which is quite a lot. And that's about it. So, from Aussie Stern, please like, please subscribe, leave a message if you're interested in this content. And I will see you next time on the table. Bye for now.